Commander Vex Tai stared at the blue planet floating below his ship. His 4 arms moved across the control panel as he checked the daily reports from Earth. For 3 years, he had been watching the humans. Most days, the reports were boring. Today was different. The first report made him pause. Humans had built something called a cryptocurrency network. The energy they used to run it could power entire cities on most worlds. But they were using it just to make digital money. What worried Vex's Tai was not the money part. It was the network itself. The network connected millions of computers around Earth. Each computer worked together to solve complex math problems. The system was so powerful, it could crack most alien military codes in minutes. But the humans were using it to trade pictures of cartoon apes. Vex Tai's third eye twitched. This was like watching children play with nuclear weapons. The second report was worse. Humans had created social media platforms that let them talk to anyone on their planet instantly. Billions of humans could share information in real time. The Galactic Defense Forces had communication systems that were slower than what human teenagers used to share videos of dancing. He pulled up another file. Human children were programming flying robots for fun. They called them drones and used them to deliver food. But Vex Tai could see the truth. These same machines could carry weapons anywhere on the planet. The targeting systems were better than what most alien armies used. His claws clicked nervously on his desk. The humans did not seem to understand what they were building. The third report made his stomach feel sick. Humans had something called video games, where millions of people fought fake space wars. Vex Tai watched recordings of these games. The humans worked together in perfect coordination. They made complex battle plans in minutes. They adapted to enemy tactics faster than trained military officers. The worst part was that they did this for entertainment. Vex Tai opened his communication device and called his assistant. "Bring me all the files on human problem-solving methods," he said. When the files arrived, he wished he had not asked. Humans had something called crowdsourcing, where they asked millions of people to work on hard problems. In one case, they had solved a protein structure that alien scientists had worked on for decades. The humans solved it in 3 weeks by turning it into a game. They were using their entire population as a giant brain. Vex Tai stood up and walked to his window. Earth looked so peaceful from space. But he was beginning to understand that appearances could lie. The humans were not trying to build weapons. They were trying to solve problems and have fun. But everything they built could become a weapon. He sat back down and opened another report. This one was about something called artificial intelligence. The humans were teaching machines to think like humans. The machines were getting smarter every day. Some could already write better than most alien poets. Others could see patterns that escaped the best alien analysts. What made it worse was that the humans were sharing all of this knowledge freely. They put their research on something called the Internet, where anyone could read it. They wanted everyone to have access to these dangerous tools. Vex Tai thought about his own people, the Zephyrians. When they wanted to build a new weapon, it took years of committee meetings. Teams of experts had to approve every step. The military controlled all dangerous technology. But humans were different. They let anyone try to build anything. A human in their garage could accidentally invent something that could destroy planets. He pulled up the latest surveillance videos from Earth. In one video, a human teenager had built a nuclear reactor in his backyard shed. The local authorities had stopped him, but only because his neighbors complained about the radiation detector alarms going off. In another video, a group of humans had launched their own satellite using parts they bought online. They did it just to prove they could. Vex Tai felt a chill run through his body. These humans were not even adults by their own standards. The final report of the day made his decision for him. But the same technology could create biological weapons that would make the plague bombs of the old wars look harmless. The humans were calling it a medical breakthrough and planning to make it available to hospitals around the world. Vex-Tai activated his emergency communication system. The message would reach the Galactic Security Council in hours. He began to type his report. Priority alert. The human problem is worse than we thought. They are not developing weapons on purpose. They are accidentally turning everything they touch into weapons. Their rate of innovation is beyond anything we have seen. What they call entertainment and hobbies would be classified as military research by any sane civilization. He paused and looked at Earth again. The humans had no idea they were being watched. They had no idea how dangerous they were becoming. Recommendation. Emergency session required. The humans are not just advancing their technology. They are weaponizing creativity itself. If they develop faster than light travel before we act, they will bring this chaos to the entire galaxy. Vex-Tai sent the message and leaned back in his chair. He had spent 3 years watching the humans. He had seen them laugh, cry, fight, and love. They seemed so much like other species in many ways, but they were not like other species. They were something new and terrifying, a species that refused to accept limits, a species that treated impossible problems as fun challenges. As he watched, another report came in. The humans had just figured out how to use quantum mechanics to build computers that could solve certain problems faster than the laws of physics should allow. They were calling it a research breakthrough and posting the instructions online for free. Vex-Tai closed his eyes and waited for the Security Council to respond. He hoped they would take the threat seriously, because if they did not, the galaxy might soon belong to the humans. The meeting chamber was unlike anything in the galaxy. 12 different species sat around a circular table that could adjust to each race's needs. The air mixture changed every few minutes to keep everyone comfortable. Today, nobody was comfortable. Ambassador Keth Nara of the Trade Federation called the meeting to order. Her blue skin had turned pale, which meant she was worried, very worried. "We are here because of Commander Vex-Tai's report about the humans," she said. "Each of you has been watching them too. Please share what you have learned." The first to speak was Hive Queen Zareth from the collective. Her insect-like body clicked as she moved. "We have watched their artificial intelligence development," she said. "Our biocomputers took us 1,000 years to perfect. The humans built better ones in 50 years. She paused and her antenna twitched. "Their machines learn faster than our living computers. They teach these machines using something called the Internet, which contains all human knowledge. The machines read everything humans have ever written in days." Ambassador Keth Nara felt her stomach drop. The collective's biocomputers were considered the most advanced in the galaxy. "There is more," Zareth continued. "The humans do not control this technology. They give it away. Any human can download these thinking machines and improve them. They are creating intelligence faster than we can understand it." The next speaker was crystal singer Thane Moore from the Resonance Empire. His crystalline body rang like a bell when he was upset. Right now, he sounded like an alarm. "The humans have developed quantum computing," he sang in his musical voice. "Our entire civilization's security depends on mathematical codes that take millions of years to break. Human quantum computers could break these codes in hours." The crystal being's song grew sadder. "They call it research and publish their methods in journals that anyone can read. They have no understanding of what they have done." Sea Lord Tidecaller rose from her water tank to speak next. The aquatic being's gills fluttered nervously. "We have studied their genetic engineering," she gurgled. "They edit life itself to cure their diseases, but the same tools could create biological weapons beyond our worst nightmares." Her tentacles curled in distress. "They share genetic databases freely. Any human scientist can access the genetic code of every virus, every bacteria, every living thing on their planet. They think this will help them heal people." The mood in the room grew darker with each report. Windrider Gale Storm from the Sky Cities spoke next. His feathered body shook as he talked. Their aerospace technology advances daily. Private companies now build rockets better than our military vessels. They launch satellites for entertainment. Children build flying machines in their schools. He spread his wings in agitation. They treat space travel like a hobby. Some humans are already talking about building cities on other planets. They will spread across the galaxy before we can stop them. The most disturbing report came from Peacekeeper Dawn Light of the Harmony Coalition. Her gentle, glowing form usually brought calm to any room. Today, she brought only fear. The humans have mastered nuclear fusion, she said quietly. They call it clean energy and want to use it to power their civilization. But fusion technology can be weaponized. They could build bombs that make their current weapons look like toys. Her light dimmed as she continued. What frightens us most is their reason for developing this technology. They are not trying to build weapons. They want to stop their planet from getting too hot. They are accidentally developing planet-killing technology to save their environment. Silence filled the chamber. Every ambassador understood the implications. Ambassador Keth Nara looked around the table. "Let me make sure I understand," she said. The humans have developed faster artificial intelligence, quantum computers that can break our security, genetic engineering that could create super plagues, space technology that rivals our military, and fusion power that could level continents. She paused. And they did all of this by accident while trying to improve their daily lives? Nods and agreement sounds came from around the table. "There is something else," said Stone Speaker Granite Voice from the deep realms. The rock-like being rarely spoke, but when he did, others listened. "We have studied their decision-making process. Most species develop technology through central planning. Governments decide what to research. Military leaders choose what to build." His voice rumbled like an earthquake. "Humans do not work this way. They innovate through competition and chaos. Millions of humans try millions of different approaches. The best ideas spread naturally. No one controls this process. The implications hit everyone at once. There was no human government they could negotiate with to slow down innovation. There was no central authority they could pressure or control. Human creativity was like a force of nature. War Chief Bladesong from the warrior clans had been quiet until now. His scarred body bore the marks of 100 battles. "If humans are so dangerous," he growled, "why do we not conquer them now, while they are still stuck on one planet?" Every head turned to look at him. He continued. "They have no space military. They barely have space travel. One battle fleet could end this threat." It was mind-touched prophet whisper from the Oracle worlds who answered. Her psychic abilities let her see possibilities others missed. "We have looked into possible futures," she said in her strange, echoing voice. "Military action against humans would be a mistake." Her eyes glowed as she spoke. Humans respond to threats by becoming more dangerous, not less. If we attack them, they will unite. They will turn their innovation toward military purposes. They will become the very threat we fear. She leaned forward. "In every future where we fight the humans, we lose. Not because they are stronger, but because they adapt faster than we can plan." The chamber fell silent again. The most advanced civilizations in the galaxy were afraid of a species that had not even left their home planet. Ambassador Kethnara stood up. "We need options," she said. "We cannot fight them. We cannot ignore them. What can we do?" Strategic mind core logic from the machine worlds processed the question. His mechanical voice was calm but urgent. "Analysis suggests subtle intervention. We could slow their development without revealing our presence. Influence their leaders. Create regulations. Limit their most dangerous research." Several ambassadors nodded. It seemed like the only choice. But Prophet Whisper shook her head. "Humans respond to limitations by finding ways around them. Restrictions will only make them more creative. We may accelerate the very development we seek to prevent. The meeting continued for hours. No one had a good solution. How do you control a species that innovates through chaos? How do you limit a civilization that treats obstacles as interesting challenges? As the session ended, Ambassador Keth Nara made the decision that would change everything. "We will attempt gentle intervention," she announced. "Operation Gentle Guidance will begin immediately. We must try to slow them down before they accidentally destroy us all." None of them realized they were about to make the biggest mistake in galactic history. Dr. Silthara had studied over 200 intelligent species in her career. None of them had kept her awake at night like the humans did. She floated in her research pod, surrounded by holographic displays showing human innovation patterns. What she was seeing should have been impossible. The research facility was hidden in the void between star systems. Representatives from every major civilization had sent their best minds to solve the human puzzle. Dr. Silthara, an ethereal being of pure energy, led the team because she was the only one who had predicted a species like humanity might exist. She had been wrong about everything else. "Show me the innovation timeline again," she said to her assistant, a multi-armed keeper named Professor Dexon. The hologram displayed human technological development over the past century. The curve was not smooth, like other species. It was jagged, full of sudden jumps and impossible accelerations. "Look at this," Dr. Silthara said, pointing to a section of the timeline. In 1969, humans barely had the technology to reach their own moon. 50 years later, private companies are building reusable rockets and planning to colonize other planets. Professor Dexan's primary arms gestured in confusion. "Our species took 3,000 years to progress from moon landings to interplanetary travel. How are humans doing it in decades?" Dr. Silthara changed the display to show innovation sources. What appeared made her energy form flicker with anxiety. "This is the terrifying part," she said. "Most advanced civilizations develop technology through organized research institutions, government agencies, military departments, corporate laboratories." She highlighted different sections of the data. "Humans do this too. But look at these other sources. Individual inventors, working in garages, students building advanced technology for school projects, retired engineers creating breakthrough devices as hobbies." Professor Dexon leaned closer. "Are you saying humans innovate in their spare time?" "Not just innovate," Dr. Silthara replied. "They innovate at a rate that exceeds most government research programs. This human named Steve Jobs built computers in his garage that changed their entire civilization. Another human named Elon Musk decided to build rockets for fun and ended up revolutionizing space travel." She pulled up another set of data. But individual innovation is not the worst part. Humans have something called open source development. They build advanced technology and then give the plans away for free. The research team gathered around the display. Dr. Silthara showed them examples of human open source projects. They have created operating systems that run better than our military computers, and anyone can download them for free. They have built artificial intelligence systems and published the complete instructions. They share genetic research databases with every human scientist on the planet. Research mind Vortex Think from the Logic Worlds made a sound of disbelief. "They give away military-grade technology?" "They do not think of it as military technology," Dr. Silthara explained. "To humans, technology is just a tool for solving problems. They do not classify it as dangerous or safe. They share it because they believe cooperation makes everyone stronger." She changed the display again. "This brings us to the most disturbing discovery. We have analyzed human problem-solving methods. When humans encounter a difficult challenge, they do not form committees to study it. They do not create regulations to limit research. They turn it into a competition. The team watched footage of human hackathons, where groups of programmers competed to solve complex problems in days or hours. "Watch this," Dr. Silthara said. "This is a competition where humans tried to design better ways to clean up pollution in their oceans. In 48 hours, they developed technologies that surpassed our environmental restoration systems." Professor Dexon's secondary arms began twitching, a sign of stress. "They solved environmental restoration as a weekend hobby? It gets worse, Doctor," Silthara continued. "When humans cannot solve a problem quickly enough, they use something called crowdsourcing. They ask millions of other humans to help." She showed them examples of humans using crowdsourcing to solve protein folding problems, design new medicines, and even discover new planets. In one case, she explained, human gamers solved a complex enzyme structure in 3 weeks that our biochemists had been working on for 10 years. The humans did it by turning the problem into a game. The research team was silent. The implications were staggering. Bioengineer Growth Tender from the Life World spoke up. "If humans can solve any problem by turning it into entertainment, what happens when they start having real problems?" Dr. Silthara had been hoping someone would not ask that question. "We have analyzed human responses to crisis situations," she said quietly. "When humans face existential threats, they do not panic or give up. They innovate. Faster." She showed them historical data from human wars, natural disasters, and pandemics. Every major crisis in human history has resulted in technological leaps. They invented radar during warfare. They developed space technology during political competition. They created internet protocols for military communication, and then gave them to their entire civilization. When their planet started getting too hot, they began developing fusion power, advanced solar collection, and carbon capture technology. When a pandemic threatened their population, they developed new vaccines in less than a year, using techniques that normally take decades. War strategist Ironclaw from the Battle Clans understood first. "You are saying humans become more dangerous when threatened?" "Exactly," Dr. Silthara replied. "Most species become more conservative under stress. They focus on survival and existing methods. Humans do the opposite. Stress makes them more creative, more willing to take risks, more likely to try completely new approaches." She pulled up her final analysis. "This is why I believe any attempt to slow human development will fail. Humans have evolved to treat obstacles as challenges to overcome. If we make innovation harder for them, they will simply innovate better ways to innovate." Master Builder Construct Form from the Maker Guilds asked the question everyone was thinking. "What do you recommend?" Dr. Silthara's energy form dimmed as she spoke. "We have 3 options. First, we could attempt to quarantine humanity on their planet. But our analysis shows they will develop space travel anyway, and quarantine efforts will only delay them while making them suspicious of outside interference. Second, we could attempt direct military intervention, but war with humans would force them to militarize their innovation. They would become the exact threat we fear, except with better weapons than we have ever imagined." The research chamber was completely quiet now. "The third option," Dr. Silthara continued, "is the one that terrifies me most. We could make contact and try to guide their development peacefully. But humans respond to contact with other intelligences by wanting to share everything they know. They would give us their most dangerous technologies as gifts." Professor Dexon spoke the question no one wanted to ask. "Is there a fourth option?" Dr. Silthara's form flickered with something that might have been humor. "Yes. We could do nothing and hope they solve all our problems for us before they accidentally destroy the galaxy." She looked around at the greatest minds from the most advanced civilizations in known space. "Because that," she said, "is what humans do. They solve problems. All problems. Whether those problems want to be solved or not." The research team realized they were facing something unprecedented. Not just a new species, but a new type of species. one that treated the impossible as merely difficult, and the difficult as entertaining. The final report would recommend immediate action, though no one could agree on what that action should be. But Dr. Silthara was already certain of one thing. Whatever they decided to do about the humans, it would probably make the situation worse. Because humans, she had learned, were very good at turning problems into opportunities. Operation Gentle Guidance began on a Tuesday morning, Earth time. Ambassador Kethnara watched from the command center as teams across the galaxy started their subtle intervention. The plan was simple: slow down human innovation without letting them know aliens existed. The first phase targeted human governments. Alien agents, disguised by holographic technology, approached world leaders through intermediaries. They posed as concerned scientists, suggesting new regulations on artificial intelligence research. They recommended international treaties to limit quantum computing development. They proposed safety committees to oversee genetic engineering. Within weeks, governments around Earth began introducing new laws. Research institutions faced new restrictions. Technology companies received regulatory warnings. Commander Vextai monitored the human response from his observation post. What he saw made his forearms tremble. Instead of slowing down, human innovation accelerated. When governments restricted AI research at universities, private companies doubled their development efforts. When international treaties limited quantum computing, smaller nations without treaty obligations became research centers. When regulations targeted large corporations, individual inventors started building advanced technology in their homes. The humans are not responding as predicted, Vextai reported to the command center. They seem to view restrictions as challenges to overcome. Vextai. Kethnara studied the data streams. Humans were creating what they called workarounds, faster than the aliens could create new restrictions. When one path was blocked, they found 10 new paths. Worse, they were sharing these workarounds freely on their internet. When one human figured out how to bypass a regulation, millions of other humans learned the method within hours. Phase 2, Kethnara ordered. Target their funding sources. The second phase was more sophisticated. Alien economists manipulated human financial markets to reduce funding for dangerous research. They crashed cryptocurrency prices to limit decentralized computing networks. They caused problems for venture capital firms that invested in risky technology. This backfire was even worse than the first. Humans responded to funding shortages by developing cheaper ways to innovate. Open-source projects exploded in number. Crowdfunding platforms raised billions for independent research. Humans started building advanced technology using parts they ordered online and instructions they found on video-sharing sites. Dr. Silthara watched the intervention results from the research facility. "This is exactly what I predicted," she told her team. "Humans treat limitations as engineering problems. We are not slowing them down. We are teaching them to innovate more efficiently." The proof came when a human teenager named Kim Jin-woo in Seoul built a quantum computer in his bedroom using parts that cost less than most families spent on food. He live-streamed the entire construction process and answered questions from viewers around the world. Within a month, thousands of humans were building quantum computers at home using Kim Jin-woo's methods. "Emergency meeting," Kethnara announced. The intervention was failing catastrophically, but the worst was yet to come. Phase 3 targeted human space programs. The aliens caused technical problems with government space agencies, hoping to slow human expansion beyond Earth. The humans responded by privatizing space exploration. Private companies started launching rockets every week. Billionaire humans began competing to build better spacecraft. Space tourism became an industry. Humans started talking seriously about building cities on Mars. Commander Vextai watched in horror as humans achieved in months what had taken other species centuries. Their rockets became cheaper and more reliable. Their satellite networks grew more sophisticated. Their plans for space colonies became more detailed. "They are escaping planetary containment," he reported. "Repeat, the humans are leaving their planet." The news got worse daily. Humans launched thousands of satellites that created a global communication network impossible to disrupt. They built space manufacturing facilities that made them less dependent on Earth-based resources. They started mining asteroids for materials. Then the aliens made their biggest mistake. Phase 4 attempted to create discord among human nations. The aliens secretly influenced political leaders to create conflicts, hoping internal fighting would slow technological development. The humans responded with something the aliens had never seen before: spite-driven innovation. When political tensions increased, human scientists from rival nations began collaborating more closely, specifically to spite their governments. International research partnerships multiplied. Scientists shared data freely across borders to prove that human cooperation was stronger than human politics. A group of researchers from 12 different countries announced the Unity Project, an open-source initiative to accelerate human space colonization. They called it a response to petty political games and invited every human on Earth to contribute. The project achieved more progress in 6 months than most alien civilizations managed in decades. Admiral Korthvar of the Defense Fleet received emergency authorization to prepare for direct military intervention. But intelligence reports made this option look impossible. Humans had spread across multiple planets in their solar system. Their space infrastructure was too distributed to destroy with a single attack. Their communication networks were too redundant to disrupt. Worse, they had started detecting the alien surveillance network. Instead of panicking when they discovered they were being watched, humans became excited. They launched projects to contact extraterrestrial intelligence. They built more powerful radio telescopes. They developed technologies specifically designed to communicate with alien civilizations. The final phase of Operation Gentle Guidance was abandoned when Dr. Sarah Chen, from the Beijing Institute of Technology, sent a message directly to the Alien Command Center. "We know you are there," her transmission said. "We have been analyzing the patterns in our technological disruptions. The interference is too organized to be natural. We have traced electromagnetic signatures to several locations that should be empty space." Vex Tai felt his exoskeleton go cold as he read the message. "We are not angry," Dr. Chen continued. "We understand. You might be cautious about making contact, but we want you to know that we are friendly. We have been trying to solve the problems of faster-than-light communication for decades. If you are listening, we would love your help." The message included detailed technical specifications for the communication technology Dr. Chen's team had developed. They were sharing advanced physics research with unknown aliens as a gesture of friendship. "Also," Dr. Chen added, "we have some interesting ideas about energy distribution and disease treatment that you might find useful. We believe that cooperation benefits everyone." The transmission ended with Dr. Chen's contact information and an invitation to visit Earth for tea and conversation. Ambassador Kethnara stared at the message for a long time. Operation Gentle Guidance had not just failed. It had accelerated everything they had tried to prevent. The humans were no longer contained to one planet. They had developed technologies that rivaled alien capabilities. They had detected alien surveillance and responded not with fear, but with friendship. Most terrifying of all, they were actively trying to make contact and share their most dangerous discoveries as gifts. "What are your orders?" Admiral Korthvar asked. Kethnara looked around the command center. Every screen showed human achievements that should have been impossible. Every report detailed innovations that had happened faster than predicted. The intervention had taught them one crucial fact: there was no way to slow down human development. Every obstacle made them stronger, more creative, more determined to succeed. She made the decision that would change galactic civilization forever. "Prepare for first contact," she said. "If we cannot stop them, perhaps we can join them." But she wondered if the galaxy was ready for what would happen when human innovation was no longer limited to one small planet. And the worst part was that the humans would probably give it away for free. The message arrived at exactly 14:32 Earth Standard Time, transmitted on frequencies that had never been used by human technology. Dr. Jung Min Ho was drinking coffee in his laboratory at Seoul National University when every communication device in the building started receiving the same signal. The translation was perfect, which should have been impossible. No human had ever taught alien computers the Korean language. Dr. Jung Min Ho of Seoul National University. The message began. We are Ambassador Keth Nara of the Galactic Security Council. We have been observing your species for several years. We wish to establish formal diplomatic contact. Min Ho set down his coffee and called his research team. Then he did something that would have surprised the aliens if they had not been watching humans for so long. He live-streamed his response to the entire planet. Hello, Ambassador Keth Nara, he said into his camera while millions of humans watched. We are honored to meet you. We have suspected we were not alone, and we are very excited to learn from your civilization. End quote. End quote. We have did for mating. We are civilization. Then he did exactly what Dr. Silthara had predicted humans would do. He immediately offered to share everything. We have been working on some interesting problems that you might find useful, Min Ho continued. We have developed new methods for energy storage, faster medical treatments, and improved space propulsion systems. We would be happy to share all of our research with you. 1. N. 1. 1. He paused and smiled. We also have many questions about galactic civilization. Perhaps we could arrange a cultural exchange. We have much to learn from each other. A. Ambassador Keth Nara watched the human response from the command center. Her predictions about human panic and military mobilization were proving completely wrong. Instead of fear, humans were expressing curiosity and excitement. Instead of preparing weapons, they were preparing welcome gifts. Social media filled with messages of friendship directed toward the unknown aliens. Human governments began planning peaceful contact protocols. Are you monitoring human military responses? Admiral Korthvar asked. There are none, replied Commander Vex Tai. Human military forces are maintaining normal operations. Some have increased their monitoring activities, but they appear to be preparing for defense against those who might panic, not for attack against aliens. The situation became more surreal by the hour. Human scientists started organizing international conferences to share their best discoveries with alien visitors. Artists began creating welcome artworks. Children drew pictures of humans and aliens working together. Dr. Min Ho received official authorization from Earth's major governments to continue communication. His next message to the aliens included detailed technical specifications for fusion power generation, quantum computing architectures, and genetic therapy techniques. We believe these technologies could benefit any civilization, he said. Please use them freely. We ask only that you share what you learn from improving them. Dr. Silthara reviewed the human offerings from the research facility. Each technology was more advanced than equivalent alien systems. The humans were casually giving away discoveries that could revolutionize galactic civilization. They are not negotiating, she reported to the Security Council. They are not asking for anything in return. They are simply sharing their most valuable knowledge as a greeting gift. The human response to first contact was unlike anything in galactic history. Other species had responded with fear, aggression, or attempts to gain advantage. Humans responded by trying to be helpful. Ambassador Keth Nara made the decision to accelerate contact. She sent detailed information about galactic civilization, star maps, and cultural databases to Earth. Dr. Min Ho's response made her laugh, which was unusual for a diplomatic situation. Thank you for the star maps, he replied. We have already started planning exploration missions to visit our galactic neighbors. We estimate it will take us about 15 years to develop faster-than-light travel using the physics principles you shared. He paused in his message. Also, We notice that several of the civilizations in your database face problems with energy distribution, food production, and environmental restoration. We have some ideas that might help. Would it be appropriate for us to contact them directly with potential solutions? The research team at the hidden facility worked frantically to analyze human behavior. What they found defied every prediction about intelligent species development. The humans are not trying to gain advantage from first contact, Dr. Silthara reported. They are trying to solve everyone's problems. They view galactic civilization as a collaborative project that they want to help improve. The evidence was overwhelming. Within days of first contact, human research teams had organized themselves into working groups focused on galactic challenges. They were developing technologies specifically designed to help alien civilizations they had never met. One group was working on faster terraforming techniques for the rock-dwelling species. Another was developing better atmospheric processors for the gas giant civilizations. A third was designing improved space habitats for nomadic cultures. They are doing this for free, Professor Dexon observed. They are not asking for payment, territory, or political advantage. They simply want to help. The situation reached a tipping point when human children started sending personal messages to alien children. Earth's education systems began teaching galactic history and alien languages. Cultural exchange programs sprouted everywhere. But the moment that changed everything came when Dr. Minho asked a simple question. Ambassador Kethnara, he said during their third communication session. We have noticed some patterns in your technology that suggest your civilizations face certain resource limitations. We have developed some techniques that might solve these problems completely. Would you like us to share them? The technologies he offered would end scarcity across the galaxy. Food production systems that could feed billions. Energy generation that required no fuel. Manufacturing processes that created no waste. Humans were casually offering to solve every major problem that galactic civilization had faced for millennia. Commander Vextai realized the truth first. They are not dangerous because they want to conquer us, he reported. They are dangerous because they want to help us. If we let them solve our problems, we will become dependent on human innovation. But it was too late to maintain distance. Human space programs had already launched exploration missions toward the nearest alien systems. Human research teams were developing technologies specifically for interspecies cooperation. Human diplomats were organizing the first Galactic Cooperation Summit. Most importantly, humans were doing what they always did when they encountered new challenges. They were turning first contact into a massive collaborative project involving their entire civilization. Ambassador Kethnara faced the final vote of the Security Council. They could still attempt to limit human expansion. They could try to control human innovation. They could maintain the careful balance of power that had kept the galaxy stable for thousands of years. Or they could trust that a species who responded to meeting aliens by immediately trying to solve all their problems might actually make the galaxy a better place. She cast the deciding vote for full partnership. The final scene of Operation Gentle Guidance took place 3 months later. Dr. Minho stood in the first Human-Alien Cooperation Center, surrounded by beings from dozens of different worlds. They were working together on technologies that would transform galactic civilization. A young human intern named Park Sujin approached him with a report. Dr. Minho, she said, the fusion power upgrade is working perfectly. The Crystalline Empire says it will solve their energy crisis completely. She paused and grinned. Also, the Aquatic Federation wants to know if we can help them develop better underwater cities. And the nomadic clans are asking about improved space habitats. And the machine worlds want to collaborate on artificial intelligence projects. Dr. Minho smiled and looked around the center. Humans and aliens worked side by side, sharing knowledge freely and solving problems together. Tell them yes to everything, he said. We have a lot of work to do. Commander Vextai sent his final report from the observation post. Threat assessment complete. Humans are indeed the most dangerous species the galaxy has ever encountered. They are dangerous to every problem, limitation, and barrier that stands in the way of progress. They respond to new challenges by making friends and sharing solutions. He paused and looked at Earth, where construction had begun on humanity's first interstellar shipyard. Recommend immediate full integration before they solve galactic hunger, cure aging, and accidentally invent technologies that make our current civilization look primitive. The humans are not trying to conquer the galaxy. They are trying to fix it. He ended the report with a note that would become famous in galactic history. The humans have only one weakness. They think every problem can be solved through friendship and collaboration. Fortunately for all of us, they appear to be correct.